Hello, it's Luna. Let's see. So, I've been having quite a bit of time on my hands. Some of you might already know I've been going through a transition, and I'm not really at my office that much anymore. I decided a while back, or actually not a while back, but about a month ago, that I was not going to be, unfortunately, seeing clients anymore unless they really wanted to do work. What I mean by wanting to do work is that they were going to be participating in their healing process, and not putting anyone down, because it is a lot of work. It takes commitment, courage, and it's something that we are a little bit afraid of. Sorry to say, but it is something that a lot of people don't really want to commit to, and it's for different reasons. So I'm not judging anyone, but because I stopped taking clients based on me healing them and solely doing work on my end, I've found myself having a lot of time because I'm not quite as busy anymore. As I said, unfortunately, people don't really want to take the time to better themselves. They want someone else to kind of do it for them, or they're just not ready. So with that being said, I guess you'll be seeing a lot more of my videos, and I guess I'm going to talk about random topics that will hopefully also still help you, those who want to do the work. I can reach out in a a bigger capacity, and the right people will listen to the videos and hopefully implement the things that I'm sharing with you, and it will help make a difference in your life. And usually a private session with me goes anywhere from $85 and up, just depending on what kind of guidance you're seeking. So hopefully that you take this information in and really just take in what it is that I'm sharing with you, because usually this is the kind of stuff that I share one-on-one with private clients. So today's topic, I want to talk about why it is that a lot of times we can't make changes, or even though at times we want to make a change, we want to have we want to better our lives, we want to lose weight, we want to stop smoking, we want to just make better decisions, find better people to hang out with, but for some reason or another we are stuck where we're at in our lives. And I am a certified hypnotherapist. So as a hypnotherapist, I studied why it is that sometimes people aren't able to make changes, even though they consciously and logically have decided, I'm ready, let's make a change, let's do something about this. And they're just unfortunately not able to. And the reason for that is because we are already conditioned to being familiar or associating ourselves with a certain way for a period of time, and so that's what we know, that's what we're used to, that's what we're comfortable with, that is familiar to us. So even though it's not good for us, it is familiar, so it's comfortable for us to just continue a pattern that we're just used to, because a lot of times we don't even think about it. It's just automatic, kind of like driving. And I always use this kind of as an analogy. At the beginning it's uncomfortable, we don't know what we're doing, and the more we practice it, then it just becomes automatic. It's almost like you just get in your car and you go. And if you think back, when you first started driving, it wasn't like that. You had to really think about what you were doing. Is the key in the ignition? You have to turn it on, make sure it's on park, put your foot on the brake, and you went through the process to make sure, and it was a little bit scary. But the more you practiced, eventually it just became a habit. So you see, it's the same thing with anything else in our lives. If some pattern or behavior that we've been repeating over and over and over during our time, and then depending how old you are and how long you've been repeating that pattern, it's pretty ingrained in your subconscious mind. Well, you see, the subconscious mind is about 88% of our brain. And unfortunately, we don't really use that part. We use the conscious part, which is about 12%. So there's a great, huge amount of information that is in our brain, and it is stored, and a lot of it is already in the subconscious. The subconscious is what it's like I like to say, like our storage or our basement of where we keep everything we've ever learned. And so, in order for us to change things, we have to clear out, dust off things that have been just really packed away in our subconscious mind. So, a lot of times, things that we haven't been able to release or move past are emotionally associated to something that happened that was either traumatic, or just an experience that wasn't so positive. So it's suppressed, it's in there, and oftentimes we don't even remember that it even happened, because it's a survival mechanism that kicks in that helps us continue moving forward or just living our lives, because we're trying to forget that ever happened, or that we had that horrible experience. But what happens is that because it is being suppressed, it's never dealt with, and then on some level it's affecting us from being able to move forward. So the first thing that I do with my clients is, let's visit and see what it is that's keeping you stuck there. Well, more often than not, you are pretty aware of what might have happened, especially if it was a breakup, and if it was a physical injury, then you'll remember. If you got into a car accident, whatever it is, quite often you remember it. So what I do is just guide you through releasing that negative feeling association to that experience. And even though you might not remember, that's where the hypnosis takes place or kicks in, and is very helpful. And I guide you into a deep state of hypnosis, and through suggestions I just help you bring up to the surface whatever it is that has been buried deep down inside, so that it can be released. It's not so that you can remember negative feelings or relive this horrible experience, but it's because that's the only way you'll really truly be able to free yourself from all that negativity that you've been holding on to. And although you may be functioning properly on a conscious level, and you may feel that you're fine and it's not affecting you and you're okay, to some extent, I have to say, it is still affecting you. And I can tell you this from my own experience, because I've been through so much in my past that I won't get into in detail right now, but I in particular had it was a sad experience with my children's father, which is my ex-husband. And he was the love of my life, and when you're young, you think, oh, you're going to live happily ever after, because that's what we believe, and we want this fairy tale life and ending, right? Well, so much happened that it's just too much to share. Not that I wouldn't share with you guys, but I'm an open book. I'm okay. You can ask me, I'll share with you, especially if it's going to help someone understand that I am human, and the reason why I say certain things is because I probably already went through something pretty similar, or had an experience that was that was hard to overcome. And I'm here to tell you that you can overcome it. But it is important that you willingly want to take the steps to do it. And so, what going back to what I was saying is sometimes you might not even remember because you suppressed it. And so for me, I did go through the steps of seeking counseling, and I did some self-healing with a mentor that when I was going through my certifications with hypnotherapy and the breathing and everything that I offer, I had to go through it in order for me to understand how to help someone, but also how it was going to feel. So part of my schooling was to work on myself. So I'm grateful for that, because not only did it help me understand how the person that I was helping was going to feel, but it truly also helped me heal and go through my process of releasing and healing and just becoming aware and awake, more than anything awake, so that I can be present and live. So I did the work, so I thought. And, I was functioning well. I can speak about certain situations that happened and I would be fine. But what ended up happening is I started noticing a pattern that when I was meeting friends or dating, I would become a little uncomfortable once they start showing or expressing that they were wanting to go to the next step or a little bit more serious. And I never really paid attention to it. I would just, gosh, well, in my head I would think, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know, gosh, and is this the person? Is this the one? And so what ended up happening is I would break it off. And never did I ever expect or think that it was because of what happened 20 years ago. But unfortunately, I suppressed it. It was in my subconscious. And mind you, I had already been working on myself because it was something that I wanted to heal from. But anyways, if it, years later, it still affected me. So it was affecting how I was living my life now, or at that time, and how I was involved in my relationships and how I was treating them. So I wasn't obviously doing it on purpose. I didn't want to hurt anybody. That was the last thing I wanted to do. But unfortunately, I was hurting them because of something that was unresolved within myself. And so I'm using myself as an example, so just you can get an idea that, everybody goes through stuff. So it's not about, I guess what I'm saying is don't be afraid of being judged because you're going through something. It's okay. Everybody does. What is important is that you take a stance and do something to move past that, to regain your personal power, because what you're doing right now is giving it away. So not only does it affect your personal life, but then it also affects you not being able to create and bring in the things that you desire. And the reason why is because, again, you're holding on to negative associations. So there is no space for the good things to come in until you let go, release, and heal. So it's very, very important. And so another analogy I like to, or example I like to share is weight loss. So many people want to lose weight, and right about now is when everybody starts going on their diets, going crazy on working out, because summer is going to be coming up. And so they go on all these expensive diets, hire trainers, and do all these crazy things, when in reality you can do it by yourself. But the reason why you're not is because, again, we want someone else to do it for us. Well, nobody can do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. And the only way we can do that is if we take charge. And often, the reason why we are not able to lose the weight is because we're either depressed, or we're stressed out, or we associate food with something positive, because growing up, food has always been, in my experience, something positive because of celebrations. We have cake, gatherings. There's food, whether it's birthdays, anniversaries, you name it, holidays. It's always associated with a good time, majority of the time, for most of the people. So now all of a sudden we grow up and you want to lose some weight, shed a couple of inches, but you don't know how. Well, logically you do, but subconsciously it's not familiar within your mind, within your DNA, because you've been eating all this time for positive reasons. And as children, there's some kids, but the majority don't like vegetables. And so as an adult now, logically you understand that it's reverse. The sweets are not good for you. It's not healthy, and obviously that's not going to help you lose the weight. But you also have this association to vegetables that I have to eat vegetables, when in reality they really are good. It's just a matter of perception. And so again, you have to go back into your subconscious mind, retrain that association, and more importantly, that repetition. That repetition is a big part of creating that new pattern, that new behavior, because just like when we were driving the car, we didn't really get to do it subconsciously, meaning not having to think about it until we did it a few times. So the same thing with food or with exercising. First, release that negative association, or retrain the association, because if it's a positive one, then you want to switch it. Not that you want it to be negative, but just switch the association in your understanding that the food isn't about just celebration. It's about being healthy, making healthier choices. It's a way of living. And not only because of the weight gain, but unfortunately because of the time we're living in now, it carries so many pesticides and things that are just not good for us. And so for health reasons, it's more important than ever to eat healthy. So once you change that association, now you start healing from the emotions and also retraining your thoughts, and together you start gaining back that discipline, that motivation. And the more you do this, even though on the days that you just don't want to, do something for 5 minutes, whether it's make yourself a good salad, or go for a walk, even if it's to the corner and back. But do that over and over and over to the point where it's just like, oh, that's easy. And then you're just going to add a little bit more, or you're going to find yourself not even wanting to eat unhealthy anymore, because you're going to feel disgusted even thinking about it. And this is true because I became a vegetarian about 4 months ago, and it wasn't even something I planned, but I literally was not just this, I don't know, I just, in my association, I couldn't understand why I would want to eat an animal. But all these years I had, and I was enjoying it. And not to say that sometimes, I look at it and I'm tempted, and I'm not going to sit here and say I may not ever do it again or eat it again. But for right now, I'm content and I'm enjoying eating healthy. So how is it that so many years I was eating a certain way, and all of a sudden, boom, just like that, I stopped drinking coffee. I'm eating a lot healthier. I'm just eating literally vegetables, and there's some pastas and grains, but it's very minimal. I will be honest, I still haven't been able to stop my drinking, because I do enjoy my glass of wine here and there, or maybe a nice cold beer, but it's not excessively. It's not, to where I have to have one every day. It's literally, if I'm tired, I just want to unwind. It's like, I'm going to grab a glass of wine. I earned it. I'm an adult, and I'm making a choice because I'm enjoying it, not because I'm, partying and trying to get wasted or whatever, whatever it may be. But anyways, so that's the main reason and why it is that if you have been trying to change things in your life, you haven't been able to. It's because you really truly have to look deep within yourself, in your subconscious, and start healing, start letting go, start retraining, and things will just start to happen. But most importantly, don't give up, because unfortunately it may take a little bit longer for some people to see results or change than others. And the only reason for that is because we're all different. The way we learn, the way we process information varies. Some people are very literal, so they just boom, take in that information and it happens. And then there's some that like to analyze and really dissect everything apart, because you have to know, you just want to know everything. And that's okay, it works for you. So it might take a little bit longer for you. But I always say it happens exactly when it's supposed to happen, and you need to trust the process, because if it happens too fast, then that's when people just go right back to their old ways, because it felt uncomfortable, or it was just like, oh, I don't know, I don't like this, it's not familiar. So if it does take a little bit longer, it's okay. Don't get impatient, just continue, baby steps. It's okay. Even if it's one step, it was one step ahead more than where you were a step back. So always look for the positive, and it is okay to get assistance or guidance. I recommend that you do. If you need help, go to a professional hypnotherapist that is trained to do this, and just make sure that they don't have a weekend certification, because there's unfortunately some of those out there, and they really need to know what they're doing. So I'd be more than happy to help you guys. So you can, make an appointment either through Facebook. I am also on Meetup, or you can subscribe here on my YouTube account, and just let me know if you want to schedule an appointment, and we can work that out for you. But I encourage you to also try it yourself, because again, I don't help anybody that's not willing to help themselves. My purpose is to help you, and if I know that you're not in it, then it's not really going to be 100% effective. So hope this has been helpful. I look forward to sharing more information and insights on what I've learned and what has worked for me, and what I have a good feeling will work for you as well. So follow me on Facebook under Luna Raya, subscribe, and again, I'm on Meetup, and I'm actually under Native Traditions, Healings, and more. So if you can join me there, you'll also get information on upcoming workshops, breathing journeys, events, and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for watching. Blessings and love to all of you. Bye.